What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Postgame show. Am I the only one with deja vu? Eric, do you also have deja vu?
Well, I did until I saw you possibly have a new hat, so that's fresh and new.
I've had this hat for a while. I just, I don't know. I
Don't wear
wanted
it
to
much on
change up
stream.
the aura,
Yeah.
change things up, and hopefully it gave this team some good vibes, and it turned out it different because I got deja vu. Chat, you guys got deja vu. I got deja vu. Oh my goodness.
You could say the same things, but just with a different hat on, so it looks different when people play it back.
Yep. I mean, we should just replay the Clippers stream or the Celtics stream or the Nuggets stream, and we could take tonight off, Eric, because everything we said in those games pretty much applies to tonight. But we're not going to do it. We're going to explain the deja vu times 2, times 3, whatever it is at this point, because the Blazers, once again tonight, lost yet another close game in the same exact way as they did the last 3. This team, I mean, this is going to be my theme for it, right? We're going to talk about Nurkic. That's going to be the positive from tonight. That'll be fun to talk about. But the theme from this game is the Blazers do not learn. They don't learn. They lost this game the same way they lost the prior 3, and that was getting terrible shots down the stretch and not being able to score, Eric. Mm-hmm. And this terrible offense down the stretch, when Dame's bailing it out and playing heroic basketball in the clutch and playing like just insane basketball in the clutch like he was earlier this season, sure, we'll win some of those games, and then people will be saying, oh, how can you criticize Stotts, right? Look at their record. But that's what we meant with, oh, Dame's just bailing out Stotts. His clutch numbers were insane earlier this season. Now Dame's struggling, and what happens? We cannot win a close game. The only close game we could win was the Spurs, right? But the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Celtics, the Clippers, all teams that are a little bit better than the Spurs at least, can't pull out a close game. And it's not like we're doing anything different offensively. It's just Dame's not hitting insanely tough shots at an insanely high rate. And this is what happens. This pissed me off, Eric, because you had Nurkic eating, feasting. The Bosnian Beast is back. Nurk fever. You felt it bubbling up? You got to get your vaccine soon, man. I don't know if you're going to be able to get it if Nurkic plays like this on Sunday, because I know you're getting it after that stream. So, I mean, Nurkic looked terrific. Nurkic looked like pre-injury Nurkic. Very fun to watch, very fun to see. How many shots did he get the final, 5 minutes, Eric? Did he get a single shot other than the one underneath the hoop over his shoulder at the shot clock buzzer at the end there?
I don't recall another shot. Yeah, I think they largely went away from him once he came back in the game.
Yeah, so Nurkic just has it rolling. In the low post, too. He was working in the low post. It was, it wasn't just, him dunking off of feeds from Dame or CJ off the pick and roll. He did some of that, but he was also feasting on his own out of the low post, making things happen on his own. And down the stretch, it's just pick and roll and isolation, and we get terrible shot after terrible shot. You have Dame shoot a contested 3. You have CJ shoot a contested 3. You have Dame try and dribble for a good 12 seconds, then shoot a turnaround fadeaway that he doesn't even hit rim on. I mean, this is all the same stuff we were talking about, Eric. It's the offense in the clutch when the intensity ratchets up defensively. Okay? Not being able to score. And we had 128 points in this game. But we really couldn't buy. We couldn't buy a bucket. We couldn't get a good shot the final 5 minutes of that game. And it looks exactly how our offense looks in the playoffs when we go up against playoff intensity defense and good basketball teams. That's exactly what it looks like.
Well, Tori, I would counter by saying we scored 128 points. Who cares about our offense? It was fine.
Our offense, by the way, in the last 15 games, isn't it like ranked 20th?
Something like that.
Shout out to Stevie Cousins, who had a stat or something. Our offense, like the last 10 or 15 games or so, is below average. Okay? I don't think that's a coincidence that it became below average once we started facing good teams. That's what I was saying earlier this year, Eric. Everything we're watching play out is stuff that you could have seen coming if you just listened to us. What did I say? Our offense does not work well against good teams. Our offense Does not work well against high level of defensive intensity from a good coached defensive team. I think this Memphis Grizzlies team is a very well coached team, by the way. I think Taylor Jenkins is very underrated. What's happened? We face good teams. We're still stagnant. Down the clutch, the defensive intensity ratchets up, and we can't get a good shot, and we'll have a lead in the final 5 minutes and then end up losing these games. We have lost 4 games like that in the past 6. We almost lost the Spurs game, kind of doing the same thing. We came back in the fourth quarter, but that game was close. Our offense could have been better down the stretch there, but at least we pulled that one out. But 4 out of the last 6 games, Eric, we've lost, in my opinion, mainly because our offense in crunch time, in clutch time, down the stretch of the fourth quarter is hero ball based, isolation based, pick and roll based, and we can't manufacture good shots off of that. Sure, Dame, maybe if he shoots better, we win. But we're asking Dame to hit ridiculously tough shots and make ridiculously tough plays. When instead, I don't know, maybe once throw the ball into Nurkic in the post. If they double, he can pass out of it. Maybe you get an open 3. If not, spin move to the rim. We saw that work. But they don't even try that once. Okay? They don't even try that once. And I think that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Here is why I think coaching is the problem and why coaching makes all the difference when you're talking about this kind of thing. Because right after the game, I was mad. I turned the channel at the second the buzzer sounded, and just happened to turn it to ESPN because it's right by the channel, or the Blazers are on my TV. And so the Golden State Denver game had just ended, right? Mm-hmm. SVP was getting ready to interview Steph Curry, and so we asked him. He's like, "How do you constantly get better and you're shooting the lights out against defenses that are 100% keyed on you, like taking you out of the game?" He doesn't have the greatest teammates this year, right? Compared to years past. SVP didn't say that, but like it was obvious what he was implying.
Common knowledge.
And but he's like, you're tearing it up. Like how does that work? Like how are you doing that? And do you know what Damian Lillard or Terry Stotts, how they would answer that question?
How would they answer it? I mean, I already know, but I want to hear.
They would say, well, we scored 128 points tonight. The offense isn't the problem, like I just was sarcastic about a minute ago. Or they would say, you know what? We just got to keep running pick and roll and keep, like, eventually we'll figure it out, right? Like it'll work. It's worked before. It'll work again. That's what we do, that kind of crap. Do you know what this man, Steph Curry, said? He said, no matter how good I am, no matter how many open shots I get, you have to constantly talk and figure out ways to get better shots. No matter how good of shots you're getting, you can always get better looks. And we're constantly watching film. We're constantly changing what we do. We're constantly switching up things, off-ball plays, on-ball plays, everything. They're constantly tweaking those things so that he gets better shots instead of worse shots or the same shots every time. Because if you don't do that, you will get figured out and it will become increasingly harder to make those shots. So this is like one of the best players, one of the best shooters of all time. And his coach has taught and instilled in him that no matter what you do, you can always get better shots. And instead, we make excuses like we scored 128 points. Who cares? Like the offense wasn't the problem this game. If we get a stop, we would have won. But like these guys on other teams are constantly working. And that's what a good coach would instill in his players. And that is why this team will always struggle to get over the hump as long as that man is the coach, because he has convinced these guys that they just have to do like basic things and they'll be fine, instead of constantly trying to come up with new ways to invent themselves and to get better looks and to come up with a new play other than the stupid high-low inbound pass that every freaking team knows what we're going to do in that situation with 2 seconds on the shot clock. And every team knows we're just going to give the ball to Dame, so we run a timeout play for him to take a 30-foot shot with 3 seconds left. And I mean, that's just basic what we do. I mean, it's just, the coach even says that's what we do. And like we have no other counters or ways to tweak our offense to get a good shot down the stretch because we don't push ourselves as a team to improve in those areas. We just think next time Dame will hit that miracle shot, or maybe he'll get that shot off before he gets fouled and it'll be different. Or if Powell just hits that runner last game, and if CJ makes the one before, we would have won. So we didn't play that bad. We were right there to win it. And that is the difference between a championship mindset, like you talked about, and a mediocre / get your butt kicked in the playoff attitude. And that's what's going to happen to this team.
It's just like Powell misses an open three, and then if he just makes that three, we win, so it's not a big deal. Yeah. But the thing is, guess what? The other team misses open threes throughout the course of the game too. If they just, if Powell makes the open three, well, if they made an open three in the second quarter, we still lose, right? The open three at the end of the game isn't worth more than the open three that the Grizzlies missed in the second quarter, or the or whoever we were playing. I forget who we were playing that game. But, I mean, yeah, this is just a common theme, right? If we're going to suck defensively, we have to be at our very best offensively, right?
Yep.
Shouldn't accept sucking defensively. Shouldn't accept giving up 130 points. All this talk, we're playing better defense. We like where we're headed. Yeah, see, I told you guys not to buy into that. Look at this. 130 points against the Memphis Grizzlies. 130 points. They're missing Valanciunas, and Jaren Jackson Jr. had a solid game, but he was, he's just coming back from missing a ton of time, so he should be hypothetically rusty. But you still give up 130 points. Can't be okay with that. But we were in position to win this game. We were up 121 to 119 with 3:46 left when Nurkic made a layup. Damian Lillard assisted that. I think that was on a pick and roll or something. After that, we inexplicably call a timeout when I felt like we had momentum.
It's the old, we're going to lose the timeout if we don't take it, so let's just use our timeout instead of keeping our momentum going when we get a stop, and could have pushed it up 4, I think, at that point.
Yep. And then after that, from 3:46 to 2 seconds left, we only scored 4 points. So over the span of 3 minutes and 44 seconds, we only scored 4 points. Okay? That is not good. Okay, this team should be focused on, why in the game before this, why could we only score, what was it, 6 points in the final 5 minutes, Eric?
Yep, something like that.
And then the next game, basically almost the final 3 minutes, 44 seconds, because they fouled Dame. The thing is, those points at the end, they fouled Dame on purpose, and then CJ gets a leak out that doesn't even matter. Yep. You know what I mean? So basically the final 3:46, we're only able to score 4 points. A game after the final 5 minutes, we only score 6. That's a problem. That's a theme. That's a trend. It's, our offense was very solid up until 3:46 left. I'm not complaining about the offense before that. Okay, the defense all game I have an issue with, but this team gets to that 3:46 mark, right? I think they got another stop after that. Then they call timeout, and they shoot themselves in the foot coming out of that timeout in the same ways they have in previous games, because that's how they lost this game against Denver. The thing is, they played a solid defensive game against Denver. Offensively before that, they weren't quite as good. Regardless, it comes down to a close game at the end, and they can't get buckets when they're an offensive-minded team that doesn't play good defense. If you're an offensive-minded team that doesn't play good defense and you cannot manufacture quality looks when the defensive pressure ramps up, the intensity ramps up, then you're not going to win the playoffs. Because instead of for the final, 4 minutes of this game, we go into the playoffs, defenses will be defending at that intensity for entire games. And that's why we see our offensive rating go from 5th in the regular season to 12th in the playoffs. That's why we see it regress so drastically compared to other playoff teams. So, and we've been saying that the offense isn't geared to work well in the playoffs. It doesn't translate to the playoffs. And right now we're seeing that in it not translating to the end of games against playoff caliber teams.
And I would say that even the biggest personnel blamers for this roster would agree that we have decent to good to possibly elite offensive personnel, right? Most of the complaints about personnel are either, if it is offense, it's just simply having another playmaker, And if it's about, and it's mostly about having the defensive personnel, right? Especially up front with our centers and stuff when Cantor plays a lot. So like we have like elite scorers. We have good 3-point shooters. We have guys who get offensive rebounds and can score inside. We have I think better passing than people give it credit for. I just don't understand the struggles of the offense down the stretch. There's so many creative things we could do with this personnel, and we just run the most basic, bland crap, and it doesn't result in getting us. Like, when was the last time we went on like a run when we weren't down? Like, we're always giving up the lead or trading buckets or something, and then we don't score, and then we still give up a bucket because our defense sucks. But like, it's been a while that I can remember us not being down and just like pushing it because of urgency and like getting good buckets down the stretch of a game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just the same. Here's like the final point I want to make on it. It's frustrating when we see the same issues repeatedly in a short time span, and nothing changes. Yep. We'll take the donos in a second. But the other thing I had an issue with is just the inbounds plays in the final 10 seconds. I tweeted out, Eric. I don't know if you saw the tweet. I said they're inbounding with, I think, 2.1 left on the shot clock from the baseline, and I said high-low play coming. We all know it.
Yeah,
high-low play comes.
Obvious.
They shut it down. Sure, maybe Nurkic shouldn't have like flipped. Could have maybe made a stronger move or something. But we almost got a 5-second call. They blew up our play. Absolutely blew up our play. They probably knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. I could take somebody who is, doesn't really know basketball, but have them watch a few Blazer games. I feel like they might even know it's coming. We run that play constantly on the baseline. And especially with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Like, they saw it coming. We saw it coming. It got blown up. Come up with something more creative. Put something else in the bag for a baseline inbounds, because it seems other than that, maybe they have a guy curl towards the ball off a screen, and other than that, they just throw the ball into Dame and, run a half-court offense. They have nothing else. Stotts has nothing else he can come up with. And he had a chance to draw up a play. Maybe put a Derrick Jones Jr. in there, try and get him a lob or something. I don't know. Be more creative. The fact is, he's just absolutely... He lacks creativity. Plus...
He's running the same stuff from 5 years ago. It's like all the same crap. It's not innovative at all. It might have been innovative at the time and creative, but you can't... That's the problem with that. Sticking with the same thing. It just... People figure it out, and then it becomes stale, and it doesn't work anymore after a while. I mean, of course it does. You can have it work every once in a while, catch a team off guard or something. But
guess what? In the playoffs, Eric,
Yeah.
In the playoffs, teams are going to be ready for that because they're going to scout us harder, and they're going to be ready for our offense if it's predictable and lacks creativity, and that's the issue.
And on the other end, when was the last time we just shut down a play because we were good enough or well prepared enough to know exactly what was coming in those situations? In that Pelican series, Rajon Rondo even mentioned that he doesn't even think that CJ and Dame watch film correctly, and they don't know what. Whereas he knew every play we were going to run, and when we were going to run it, and how we run it, and stuff like that. And I mean, a little bit of that might have just been him talking crap, but I mean, I can't really dispute that he's wrong based on the way they play.
Yeah, well, I had a problem with the inbounds play after that too, that I wanted to talk about. I was expecting it was what? How much time was there left? 3 seconds?
3.6 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I was expecting Dame. They're just going to have Dame run towards the ball, throw him the ball, and then he's going to have to make something happen, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't have Dame run towards the ball. They had him run towards half court.
Yeah.
And they threw him the ball
Dame,
35 feet away from the rim.
Yeah.
And I mean, that goes completely in the face of your quote from Steph Curry, where you got to try and get quality shots. It's just we'll give the ball to Dame from 35 feet. 2 years ago on this day, he had a 37-footer for the win. So just give Dame the ball 35 feet away from the rim and hope he makes something happen. Well, guess what? It's really easy to foul a guy when the ball's in the air that long,
and he's catching
you can just run at him and foul him on the catch. We were down 3.
Smart foul, by the way, by Anderson.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
It's just like he didn't even have an opportunity to do anything. So they just automatically foul him. We go to the free throw line, we lose the game because we're down 3 and we're at the free throw line. So I thought that play was also very bad and just showed another set that showed an utter lack of creativity.
In my mind, in that situation, even though it seems like a lot of teams are dumb and don't foul like that, you can't give them a chance to foul. So you have to run a play designed for a catch and shoot 3, someone coming off, instead of Dame moving backwards while he catches the ball. Mm-hmm. There's no chance he can catch and shoot if he sees the foul coming, and then he tries to shoot it, but it's too late. The foul's already occurred and it's on the ground. So you have to give some sort of screen or some sort of action to give the player like running into the shot instead of, or setting up spot up for a shot instead of running backwards where you can't just catch and shoot it. And I think that was a big mistake by the Blazers.
The other problem I have with that is Dame's the only option. They take away Dame. It's okay, we gotta get it in. Oh no, everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off. Mm-hmm. Numerous times there's only one option off of plays. You saw it with the high-low. Mm-hmm. They shut down the pass to Rocco popping up to the free throw line. What's the second option? Every inbounds play should have multiple options, but we are so limited that we only have one option, and when that gets taken away, we're just like, oh no, we don't know what to do. Dame, come get the ball, save us. And that just shows, like, Stotts' set design skills don't exist. They don't exist. The fact that you don't have a second option on inbounds plays in the final 10 seconds is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The fact that, the thing is, if they had a one-option play where it's a lob for Derrick Jones Jr., okay, at least it's something different than a high-low or just Dame run to the ball. But no.
Yeah.
So, anyway, gotta thank donations. Let's start off with Andrew Hartwell. We usually like to kind of do our intro for the first, 10, 20 minutes, and then thank donations. So if you donate early, we'll thank them for sure. We read off every dono, but it might be a little bit. Appreciate your patience. Shout out Andrew Hartwell, $5.69 donation, says, I'm at the point where I think an actual potato would be a better option than Stotts. I mean, yeah. I mean, Stotts, you could make the case that Stotts is a potato. I don't know. I'm not going to go there. That's an insult to potatoes, man.
Yeah, that's. Honestly, the bad coaching is speaking for itself. I don't think we have to even insult him anymore. It's obvious to anyone who watches the Blazers that they have an obvious coaching problem, and this team is not prepared enough and they are not maximizing their talent that's on the floor. And predictably, everyone that was 100% sure that Stotts wasn't the problem has now turned on CJ and Nurk, just like I called. Even after a night like tonight, it's all about Nurk, going up soft and missing that last shot, and nothing about the great game he had. Mm-hmm. And CJ just disappeared. And yeah, I don't know who could have possibly predicted that getting those two guys back wouldn't change anything, but I'm sure there's someone out there that felt that way.
Okay. It's absolutely insane if somebody is blaming Nurkic or CJ for this, especially if they acted like those guys were going to save our team. Because what did they expect when CJ was coming back? Did they expect him to average 35 points and 10 assists per game? I'm looking at the box score right now, Eric. Mm-hmm. Yusuf Nurkic plays 29 minutes, has 26 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and a steal, and is a +9. But because, he goes up soft with 10 seconds left on a botched play design that they completely blow up, where we're just screwed with 2 seconds left and don't know what to do on the inbounds. Nurkic is at fault for this game. When he dropped that stat line, that's comically bad. Anybody who says that, that they are so biased and so stuck in their own head with their own preconceived notions that they can't properly think the game of basketball. I'm looking at CJ's stat line. Eric shot 50% from the field, 40% from 3. He was 8 for 16 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, scored 22 points, had 9 rebounds, had 7 assists. That's a good game from CJ. What people expect with those two coming back? They expected them to be better than that? To be like all first team all NBA caliber players? Because Nurkic had a first team all NBA caliber game. You know, if Nurkic is out here playing 29 minutes, averaging 26 points per game, 17 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, he's first team all NBA. And he's maybe the MVP. I don't know. In this, you know, like, that's an insane stat line, especially since he's only playing 29 minutes. I mean, CJ's averaging 22 points per game, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Like, that's an insane stat line too. So what? Did they expect those guys to come back and do better than that? How are they at fault? Especially if you thought they were going to save the team when they and then they play well, and it doesn't make sense. I probably don't need to explain it as much as I am right now. It just doesn't make any sense, man.
Well, this is the problem when your arguments are inconsistent, and when you think you want to believe so badly that this team is overachieving at one point when we're 10 games above 500, and we don't have 2 of our 3 best players and all that stuff. And when you're being told by people constantly that this team is only winning because we're playing crappy teams and they're not really playing that great, they're getting lucky because Dame's on fire in the clutch. They have an insane record in the clutch that will even out at some point. Those people just want to believe that they're just playing good because their coach is elevating them while they have these injuries. And and now all those guys are like, oh yeah, Stotts is going to get fired at the end of the season. But which is also funny. But like, yeah, they just they fought those people like us so hard that this was not an injury problem. They've done it for two years now. I mean, yes, what having our team 100% healthy, yes, that 100% would be better for us. But the players we've had in most games, you cannot convince me are not near or more talented than most of the games we played, especially last year. This year, we've done a little better against some of the bad teams, but I still like Memphis isn't better than us on paper, like at least not now. They might be in a few years when some of these guys are veterans like our guys, but as of right now, Memphis is not better than Portland on paper. So there's no way, especially missing their starting center as well. So there's no way that you can convince me that Stotts is getting the most out of his team just based on record or whatever, when a lot of the record is based on us being better than the teams we're beating. Even though we had those injuries, we were still better than like the Chicago Bulls at the time and stuff like that. And we needed 2 miracle threes from Dame to win that game anyway. So like, it's not, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it's because they have to fight that. They fought it for so long that they can't just say, oh, you know what? Maybe this is a coaching problem. Maybe the personnel is better than I'm getting credit for. Because now it's like Olshey sucks and CJ sucks, Nurk sucks. Like this whole team sucks. Dame is washed, right? And all this stuff. You know, Cantor's the worst player in the league, or some people think he should be starting and playing all the minutes. Like it doesn't make any sense to me, but yeah, it's like, and then like we have all these personnel that doesn't play, that's good defensively, and we give up 130 points, and then you have to wonder why we're not playing guys who are here strictly for defense. And then then you got guys saying like, oh well, Derrick Jones Jr. isn't even good at defense. And Nas sucks. He's still too young. He gets lost all the time. And Rondae Hollis-Jefferson wasn't on a team this year for a reason.
Yeah, it's just BS. It's just such BS, man. I mean, we're 5 games above 500. Last season, we had legitimate issues beyond the injuries. Guess what? We got healthy. Those issues still existed. Guess what? We were healthy to start the season. Those issues still existed. We were hurt this season. Those issues still existed. And people said, oh, well, these YouTube idiots are blaming the coaching and saying these issues shouldn't be happening, but we're injured. How can they not see that we're just injured? Well, we got healthy. Issues still there. You know what I mean? The issues are there no matter who is on the floor, no matter who is off the floor. These issues are still there. It doesn't matter. It's not personnel based. I've been saying that for so long. Now you got people like Chad Doing say, yeah, we need a new head coach. Oh, well, finally. You finally realized that it's not just injuries and not just personnel.
For the record, Chad, along with most of the people who say we need a new head coach, also say we need a new GM and new personnel.
They can think whatever they want about the GM or the personnel, whatever. Eric, I'll just be happy that they finally have realized we need a new coach. Mm-hmm. And I understand maybe wanting drastic changes because of how bad this goes. I don't agree with us needing to get rid of Olshey or us needing drastically new personnel or us needing to trade CJ, but I understand the need for change. I think a lot of change will come from a new head coach. I understand how other people will think that they need more change than that, even though I don't agree with it.
But that's what I mean. We're probably coming to a point where it's going to happen, if not this year, in the near future. But I really just wish there was a way to show a new coach coming in. Say we fired Stotts between last season and hired Tom Thibodeau instead of the Knicks. I just would like to see on this team, comparing this year and then going back with the time machine, changing it, and then seeing how much different a coach with that would be. Mm-hmm. And for all the people who gave us crap about, oh, well, if you bring in a Tom Thibodeau, he'll ruin the offense. Dame and CJ won't be as good offensively. Are you telling me Julius Randle didn't get better offensively and defensively this year? Is he only better defensively, or is he taking a step above with a defensive coach offensively? So it's possible for these coaches to run this basic crap. Even a Tom Thibodeau could run this offense and have the same amount of success that Stotts has with the offense, and he might even bring some new wrinkles that to get some better shots. So I don't even think Stotts is a better offensive coach than Tom Thibodeau at this point. Yeah, and I'm putting that on the record right now. I don't care what anyone says to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting it done in any area. It's just the way it is. I mean, I think a lot of people see it. I think a lot of people who didn't see it are now finally seeing it, because it's almost like you needed a situation where there was so few excuses left that made sense. That's what it took for some people to actually think you know what, maybe it is a coaching issue. Why is the team shooting all these bad shots? Why is the team running? Why is Dame getting trapped and we're just running pick and roll at half court? Maybe it wasn't Al-Farouq Aminu's fault that Dame getting trapped didn't work out in the Pelican series. Oh yeah, he did shoot 43% from three. It's almost like it's taken just it being a drastic situation. I mean, right now this team, just kind of bringing it back to just kind of the situation that this team is in right now, it's drastically bad for this season. Okay, go ahead.
You know what I love though?
What's up?
Something's wrong with the team. I can't figure it out. But I don't know. It's just the body language and everything's wrong. They're just not prepared for these games, and they're not good in the clutch, and the defense, the schemes are really bad. But I can't put my finger on what that is. I don't understand why it's happening. Yeah, I can see that constantly. But Stotts will be the fall guy. He'll get fired for sure. But I'm not convinced still that it's the reason, but there is something wrong. I just don't know. And Stotts will take the fall for it, but come on, guys. We all see.
We've made it so we explained things in depth, but we've made things so simple because our viewpoint has been the only one that has stood the test of time, and that's that this team has a lot of issues that aren't personnel based. You see everybody switching around, everybody contradicting themselves. We call it out all the time. We probably don't even need to go in as depth as me and you do, Eric, because I think a lot of people see it already, and a lot of people laugh at it too. But I will continue to just bring up narratives because, we're on YouTube. A lot of you guys are on Twitter or social media and talk with other Blazer fans, and there has been a divide in the Blazers fan base. And it's just interesting to watch it play out. It's entertaining. And in a loss like this, that's the entertainment value in it, I guess. But, yeah, I mean...
I've been blocked by all those guys, so I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been blocked as well. We're in the same boat. But I mean, I've made it easy for you guys. I've explained the issues. I've explained why they're not personnel based, and now we got really good personnel right now, and those issues still exist. And you can see it play out before your eyes, game after game after game. I mean, we've lost what, Eric? 5 out of 6 games right now? 5 out of the last 6?
Something like that. I know it's 9 out of the last 12 we've lost, I think.
Right? And, the personnel coming back was supposed to fix everything. Well, I told you guys. I mean, we have been... I don't even need to, say this. I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back. We've just been so right this season, Eric. What do we say? It's not going to matter if these issues still exist. Even with those guys back, we got a harder schedule, and we're going to lose a lot of games in the latter half of the season. So our record right now being, 18-10, it doesn't matter. Sure, it's nice, it's nice that we won 18 out of 28 games, but when it comes to the playoffs, when it comes to the stretch run, we're going to lose a lot of games, we're not going to be prepared to play playoff basketball, and we're going to lose in the first round at best. Well, we've lost, let's see here, 8 out of 10 games, Eric. We got blown out by a depleted Charlotte Hornets team. We have been more competitive, I'll give them that, but can't close games because of our offense and the way our offense functions. And that has me worried for the playoffs because our offense can't function against intense defense. Lose by 1 to LA, lose by 1 to Denver, lose by 1 to Boston, win by 1 to San Antonio. We almost lost that game. Lose by 2 to Memphis. I mean, this team's in a bad state. This team's in play-in position, Eric. This team has now fallen to 7th.
And this is the frustrating thing for me is just the way we saw this coming last year, like towards the beginning of last year, knowing that even with the upgraded personnel, it's why we got disappointed when we signed to Derrick Jones, and then a little bit hopeful when we heard that things were going to be different this year, and then completely now frustrated and confused and all that stuff as to why we would waste another year just doing the same crap that got us in this position to begin with. And then you hear the people, like I said, turning on the personnel and the GM, and it's yes, ultimately Neil is responsible for Stotts, so he absolutely should be blamed for that moving forward. But I just don't get how we're sitting here 2 years almost after we started Blazers Uprise still talking about the same problems and them still not having been addressed by this team.
Yep. We got to catch up on donos because a lot of people are now talking about what we're talking about. We are very behind. So Alvaro was the next one that I hadn't thinked. Yep. I lost. Okay, go ahead and read it off because I lost it. My chat refreshed.
It says, no right, wrong reply. At what point should Olshey start considered tanking? We need to try. Ending up at 10th is easy with how W is bunched up.
You don't tank. You don't.
It's not going to happen. I mean, they could just lose games naturally, but there's no possible way if they're in a playoff position, even if it's the play-in, that this team is going to just pack it in and lose games and not play Dame and CJ and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're doing fine losing with them playing anyway. So
if you want Dame to want out, that's what you do.
Yeah.
If you want Dame to want out, okay, but you don't risk that. You don't do that. Yeah. There's not much to gain. Honestly, even if we tanked, I feel like we could lose the rest of our games and still maybe not fall out of a play-in position.
Yeah, that's possible. And
we're 6 games ahead of 11th.
Yeah. Yep. And then there is some debate whether giving. If we finish 10th through 14th and don't move up high enough to get top 10, or it would have to be 4th or 12th through 14th or whatever. But if we don't move up high enough, is not giving up, say, the 14th pick worth still owing Houston a pick in the future, or is it better to just make the playoffs and give them that pick this year and then be done with our future obligations in terms of first-round picks? So there is some argument there as well.
Yeah, here's your answer for that. Hopefully, if we get a new coach, our picks in future years are in the 20s. This year's draft is loaded, so I'd take a pick at 14. This year's draft's loaded. I mean...
But you can't
the best case scenario for this team winning a championship with Dame would be missing the playoffs, Okay, I'm not rooting for it to happen. I'm just trying to be realistic here. I'm not a fan of tanking. A lot of people just say, "Oh, well, tank so you can get a lottery pick." Yada yada. Well, how would you go about that? You're not going to get damn on board with that. You don't do that. You know, you continue to try and fix these problems if you're the organization. But I mean, the best path to a championship, like idealistically, hypothetically, would be we miss the playoffs. We get insane lottery luck. We have a 2.5 chance of moving into the top 14 if we're the 14th lottery slot, or into the top 4 if we're the 14th lottery slot. And then we get some lottery luck, move into the top 4, and honestly draft Jalen Green, because that guy would be a phenomenal 3, a phenomenal small forward for us. He honestly might be my top player in the draft. And you move into the top 4 and you take him. And then that guy becomes like that star forward that the team, that everybody has been saying the team is missing. Like, hypothetically, that's the most, like, that would give Dame the best chance to win a championship here. Stotts gets fired, you bring in a new coach, you bring in the right guy. Like, yes, hypothetically, I see why some fans would potentially want that to happen. I'm not rooting for it, but I'm not completely against it. I mean, I'm not too optimistic we're going to make noise in the playoffs, so I want good changes going into the future. Whatever those changes are, so be it. It just needs to be a new coach for sure. That's the one change that I think needs to happen. I'm not sitting here screaming trade CJ and, trade Nurk and all this stuff. It's just let's see what we look like with a new head coach. But yeah, we're a game and a half ahead of 8th, which is Memphis. So if we lose to Memphis the next game, Eric, we're only a half game ahead of 8th. We're only 2.5 games ahead of 9th. They would have the tiebreaker. You're right. And then we play them again. I mean, yeah, we could fall to 8th at this point. Our schedule is still extremely tough. Golden State and San Antonio are tied for 9th. They're only 2.5 games behind us. So could be a position where we're 9th or 10th. I mean, even if we're 7th, if we lose both playing games, we're out of the playoffs and in the lottery anyway. So it may not even be a situation where we would have to tank to end up in that situation. But yeah, thanks for the donation, Alvaro. What was the next one?
Next one is Kyle Wilson, $2 donation, and says the Grizzlies had 95 points in the paints.
95? I will talk about, after we get done with the donations, I want to talk about that.
I had it at 74, so I don't know how accurate that is.
Maybe it was a slight over-exam, but still, 74, 95 either way.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I don't think that's possible, because that would have only been 35 points from 3 and free throws. I'm sure
ESPN has them as 74, and they had 27 points off threes, and they had 17 points from the free throw line. So it couldn't be 95, but 74 is still an insane,
74 is still a lot,
insane amount. What was the next one? I got Anime Jake's. I can read them off once I get to Anime Jake.
My chat just refreshed too, so
all right, if we missed one, let me know. If we missed the one after Kyle Wilson,
I don't know where Anime Jake's is. I have Dro as the next one.
Oh yeah, I got Jake's and everyone after that. So shout out Anime Jake, $5 donation, says, how many free buckets does Memphis get while Blazers players stayed back? Are you in no call? Novel idea. Shut up and get your back on defense. Yeah. I mean, Dylan Brooks just ran down the court after a made bucket by the Blazers and got a fast break lay-in. I mean, this team has to be better defending in transition. That's what I was worried about with the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are a great transition team. They had 29 fast break points. They're the number one fast break points team in the league. They're not the Memphis Grizzlies from 8 years ago. They play at an extremely fast pace and are really good in transition. Yeah. And I previewed that and said that was going to be the key to the game for the most part. And 29 points. Because they only shot 9 for 30 from 3, which is 30%. I said going into this game, they're a poor three-point shooting team. In that they make up for it with fast break points. Well, we gave them the fast break points to make up for it, and they scored 130 points.
Yep.
Shout out Shaggy Squid, $5 Australian dono, says Dame shot himself out of the MVP convo this month, 38% from the field, 35% from 3 on 21 points per game. He has been horrible. I love him, but damn. He's been banged up. I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. He's been banged up. He hasn't played well by his standards. And
hit nothing but backboard on 2 open threes tonight too. They don't like to see that.
Yeah. He's been off, and you got to get him playing well going into the playoffs. I mean, I could see him coming out tomorrow and scoring 40 points. This is a mega slump. Okay, it's just a slump. He hasn't forgotten how to play. He hasn't forgotten how to shoot. You see great players have months where they just are in a major, major slump. The thing is, Dame had been super consistently good up until the past month this season. He had been consistently phenomenal. This past month, he's just off. And I don't know necessarily what the issue is with that, but he's not hitting threes. I mean, he's shooting 35%, but like he's not hitting threes off screens at anywhere near the same rate as he has been. He's missing some bunnies that he should be making. He just doesn't look as comfortable as he normally does. I think he needs one big game to get him back in the flow. Once he has one big game, that'll get him back in the flow. Or he's still more banged up than we realize, which could also be the case.
I was hoping when Dylan Brooks is talking crap to him that would get him going. And he had a pretty good third quarter, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a chance if we don't somehow get Dame fresh or like out of his slump by the playoffs. So there's still a little bit of time to do that. I don't know. I mean, we're losing games anyway. Like, maybe we shouldn't have rushed him back. Maybe we should have just kept him on ice for a while until he was as close to healthy as possible. It's kind of hard to question that. Like Dame being a competitor, he wasn't going to sit out many games. I'm sure that was his decision to play. And a lot of his injuries are just pain threshold type of injuries. So yeah, it's tough because when you have that hamstring tendinopathy, it affects your hips, and that's like super important to a flexibility for a basketball player. So yeah, once again, I'm not trying to make excuses, but we have to find a way to get him out of this by the playoffs if we want any chance. And then we have to like do stuff differently with him to get him better shots too. And I don't have any confidence of that happening.
Yep. I think it's kind of silly how toxic people are being towards him. You can be like, man, Dame needs to play better. But it's like the dude is missing some shots that he makes normally at a higher rate. And if he was shooting efficiently, then he'd be playing normal, right? He's not making shots. He's taking all the same shots he normally does and is normally efficient off of, even though some of them are difficult shots. That's kind of the position he's put in. So I don't know. It might be partly a confidence thing and a rhythm thing. So hopefully he's able to figure that out because we have no chance without him playing at peak ability. Shout JM, $2 donut, says Stotts and 2 firsts for Taylor Jenkins. I mean, Taylor Jenkins is underrated, man. They were missing Jaren Jackson Jr. almost all season long. He's only been back for 2 games. They missed John Morant for a big portion of time while they were also missing Jaren Jackson Jr. That's like if we were missing Dame and CJ. If we were missing like CJ all season long, and if we missed Dame for a month. Think about it. Would we be, and they played like a decently tough schedule, would we be sitting at 30-28 right now? No chance. No chance. We would be in the boat we were last year. We'd be, I don't know, like 20-35, 22-33.
We'd be New Orleans.
Yeah. We would not. We would not be 2 games above 500. The fact that they were 2 games above 500, seeing some of the lineups that they threw out there is remarkable, and that just goes to show that if you play a good style of basketball, you're able to overcome injury issues. They were winning games on the backs of Kyle Anderson. Like, I mean, which is just absolutely insane. They were throwing out lineups with like Kyle Anderson, Dylan Brooks, Valanciunas. Like, that's like their best 3 players. That's a lottery team under a lot of coaches. Not under Taylor Jenkins. And he coached them to almost to a playoff spot. Last season, they collapsed in the bubble, but they had a hold on that 8th seed. And you look at this roster, I mean, we had far more talent on the court than they did tonight, but they beat us because they were able to play their brand of basketball, which is fast break basketball and high energy defense down the stretch. They attacked the paint relentlessly, even though we had Yusuf Nurkic, and they got a ton of buckets like that. A lot of that coming in transition. So they established their style of basketball, and they won with less talent on the floor because they are a well-coached team.
Yep.
Shout out near 012 for the $10 dono. Says, and for the people who saying Dame is so bad, he's one of 2 players in NBA history to get 1,500 points and 400 assists in his first 9 seasons. Dame isn't the problem. The other is Oscar Robinson. I mean, people expect Dame to play at a super high level, and he has to play at a super high level in order for us to be successful, especially with the way we run things. So then when he doesn't play at a super high level, it sticks out bad. And people are hard on him because they expect him to be... Damian Lillard, a 30-point per game scorer on high efficiency. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not as hard on him as a lot of people are, but, like, I understand, like, he's not playing anywhere near his standard right now.
It came out of this game super sloppy, too, to start off. No excuses. He played really bad initially in this game, and set the tone with our sloppiness, I felt like, and making some bad passes in the first couple minutes. Don't like to see us coming out. And, once again, we start off a game looking like we don't give a crap about the game has started, and that no urgency, no, like, this game's going to be different. We're not going to let up from the beginning. We're going to come out guns a-blazing, none of that crap. We just come out so soft and lazy and sloppy, and I felt like tonight Dame kind of like brought that on, or like the team's looking to him to be the leader, and I felt like that's one thing you can pit on him, I guess, is that I don't feel like he was ready to go at the beginning of this game.
Yep.
And part of that too is like, I mean, okay, so we rely on him to be the offense. We rely on him to do everything. And we've done it since LaMarcus left. Like, he pretty much has to do it all. And then we wonder why, like, when teams are face guarding him and not letting him get the ball and just constantly pressuring him and not giving him any space, why it looks like the way it does. And that's because we don't have any once again, no counter to like combat that when teams are being aggressive against us, and we just like hide in our turtle shell and hope it ends soon and that we can start playing at some point. And that's just a horrible approach to the game of basketball, in my opinion.
Yep. Shout out Jimmy Cleveland, $10 dono, says, and the truth is that Dame and CJ doesn't seem to trust the other players in crunch time because they know Dame is going to get the ball. What's the worst that can happen? We're losing anyways. This is where I wish Stotts would step in and just call a set to get Nurkic a touch in the low post, or call a set to get Rocco a clean 3-point look or something like that, or for Norman Powell to get a clean 3-point look. I know Norman Powell's missed a couple clutch shots, but like Dame didn't really have it going, and Dame and CJ did not get high-quality shots. They got really tough contested shots down the stretch. I would have liked to have tried to manufacture a better look than just simply giving those guys the ball and just praying they were going to be able to make something happen. Rocco really struggled to get clean looks from 3 tonight. He was 1 for 5. A lot of those were super, super contested. Draw something up, get him a clean look. He's shooting a really good percentage from 3 on the season. And, if he misses a good shot, then you live with it. The problem is, you got CJ and Dame shooting insanely tough shots. You're not supposed to accept that. Just like your Steph Curry quote at the start of this stream. You're supposed to try and get high-quality shots. We have. I understand if we had Harkless and Aminu as like our shooters, like, okay, just giving it to Dame and CJ. Like, I understand that more if those are our forwards. Our forwards are Norman Powell and Robert Covington, and our center had 26 points in 29 minutes tonight. Draw something up, call a set, run something to get one of those guys a look.
Yep.
Appreciate the dono from Jimmy Cleveland. Donan J. Tory, I don't know. Appreciate the 50 rupee donation. Says, I have an exam now, might bottle it. Thanks, Stotts. Well, I assume Donan J is not in here if he's taking his exam, but appreciate it, Donnan. Shout out Dro, $5 dono, says Stotts should have been gone when New Orleans bent us over. Shaking my head, we have talent, but don't use it properly. A lot of the issues in that series still haven't really been fixed. I don't know.
Maybe someday they'll be fixed, right?
Maybe someday. Probably need a new coach. I mean, yeah. You guys know how we feel about that New Orleans series and the issues in that series and the issues with dealing with traps and the issues with our offense. Appreciate the dono from Dro. Shout out play-by-play $5 dono. Says, this team is going to give me a heart condition. This team is so talented, man. It's sad that Stotts is basically wasting what could have been a great season. And that's how I feel. Super talented roster right now. Lots of talent. Maybe probably I would say the most talent that Dame has had. People would say, oh, well, his Aldridge teams. Those teams had no bench. This team has players off the bench. And starting lineup-wise, Dame is better than Dame from back then or Aldridge from back then. Okay? You got CJ, you got Rocco, you got Nurkic. Like, I think this roster has more talent than any roster Dame has had. And they're playing like the worst roster Dame has had outside of last season. It's crazy. Shout out JM, $2 dono says, you guys helped me see the light. We're glad to have saved another soul. Right, Eric? Appreciate the dono, JM. Shout out Lil Bakel, a $2 dono says, this is the I told you so of all I told you so's. I mean, yeah.
Hey, let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to be here, this many months into the season with, 13 games left or something. I did not want to be sitting here saying I told you so. I was so hoping that this would be different and that we could finally be saying, oh, Stotts switched this up. Stotts fixed it. Stotts actually coached this team. This I told you so. I don't know. I don't feel good about it. Even though, I feel vindicated because you and I took, so much crap from all these guys. I don't know. I feel like some of their behavior towards us was completely unwarranted. So it feels good to be kind of vindicated for all that kind of stuff. But I did not want to watch my team. I told you guys this last stream. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm super passionate about the Blazers. It affects my life emotionally when they play like crap and stuff like that. I know that's bad for my health, but I don't want to sit here talking about all this stuff. I'd rather us be like the Suns right now and talking about can we pass Utah for the first seed and all this kind of stuff. Because I truly believe that this team this year should have been closer to that status versus fighting for a play-in game right now.
Yep. I'll be honest. I know what it's like to dwell on losses. The streams help, but then also I am just not emotionally invested right now, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Less than a month before the playoffs, it's just I don't expect us to be able to play stout basketball.
You're resigned, yeah.
That'll give us a chance to win the first round. So it's just okay, well, we get to see how this season crashes and burns, and I'm also hopeful that there's going to be positive change after the season because it sounds like Stotts is gone. It sounds like there's a good chance he's gone even if they make the second round.
Mm-hmm.
The talk around this team is that Stotts is not going to be a coach next year. Who's the head coach? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But that'll be fun, to talk about potential head coaching targets when we're actually looking for a head coach instead of who would you guys rather have? Who would be better?
Shout out to Allison real quick. She sent me this hilarious clip of Stotts talking about let me change that. The clip was from the day Paul Allen passed and Stotts was talking about that. So it wasn't that anything funny about that. Let me refresh. But he was telling a story about interviewing with Paul Allen for the head coaching job on his yacht. And he said that this guy actually said that the questions were all about big picture, long-term stuff. And he specifically said he wasn't asked anything about, what's your pick and roll schemes? So next time, O'Shea might want to ask that question.
That might be good to talk about the actual basketball that the basketball coach would coach,
Shout out to Allison for finding I had a good laugh at that today.
That's a good find, yeah. I mean, I feel like talking about basketball when you're trying to hire a basketball coach is a very relevant thing in an interview process.
Honestly, though, like this is why Stotts is better suited for a rebuilding team because, yeah, like he might not be as locked in with schemes, but I'm sure big picture stuff like he wowed them with like, oh yeah, this is my approach and blah blah blah. But like that was fine for our team back then. You know, we were coming off like a completely dysfunctional season and all that kind of stuff. So like I guess like at the time, Stotts was probably the right person for the job. And his first year, you know, we kind of overachieved, didn't make the playoffs. Kind of tanked at the end to make sure we kept our draft pick because we're in the same situation we are now, where if it's like lottery protected and stuff like that. But the next 2 years, I felt like he did a pretty good job with that team. I mean, West going down, that whole season just ended with a thud. I don't think any coach could have saved it after West that went down. Short of I don't know what he could have done, but I don't necessarily blame him for that season. But I feel like maybe even the first year after LaMarcus left, that was a good situation for Stotts to be in as well. But ever since then, I feel like this guy has treated this team like it is still that rebuilding. Good story, might do well, might eventually win a playoff series. And then, like I talked about last stream, we actually win 2 series 1 year, and then everyone celebrates and gets complacent, and
it's like we won the championship.
Yep. So I think at that point, like I don't mind those questions then, but this time, you know, you have a roster expecting the coach to at least not mess up a team that has a chance to maybe compete for a title, and I recognize that chance is really small, but like without a good coach, it's 0% chance in my mind. So as long as we had a good chance, or a good coach, we always have a chance, and that's why I just want them to focus a little differently this time than that time.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to cover that, though. You know, it's to actually discuss different head coaching candidates and cover the news surrounding that search. We'd have a lot of content around that. That would be unique. And I mean, this if he gets fired, the stream, if he gets let go, that stream is going to be something else. That's all I'm going to say about it. You know, play-by-play $5 donut says, please watch the Stotts interview tonight. I need some comedy to heal the pain. That's why I asked you guys, which interview do you want me or want us to watch? I saw mostly Stotts, pretty much mostly Stotts. So I guess it's a Stotts interview tonight. We watch one. We let you guys pick. You guys and gals pick. This is a democracy. Shout out Gray Hughes Investigates, and then we're finally caught up on donations. Gray Hughes had a $10 dono, says, Dame often panics when trapped and just tosses the ball away. He seems to not be aware of where the other players are when he decides to shoot first, but then gets trapped. Used Nurkic on half-court sets. See, him not knowing where other players are when he's being trapped, I put that more on Stotts. Because players should be in certain spots when Dame is getting trapped where Dame knows where players are going to be. There's no reason for Dame not to know where players are going to be if you had a consistent plan of attack against the trap. But since we don't have a consistent plan of attack against the trap, it's Dame a lot of times seems to not know where to go with the ball. And here's the thing. When you're getting trapped up near half court, you want to get the ball out of the trap quickly before it completely smothers you. So a lot of times it looks like Dame is panicking and just throws the ball away. I think a lot of times that's just him trying to get the ball out of the trap quickly before he gets smothered. And, if he like tosses the ball away, it's like players not knowing where to be. It's us not having a designated plan of attack for when Dame gets trapped. And that, I think, is primarily on coaching. Yep.
And, this is the problem when you don't have a plan. This is what it looks like. If we were like had an attacking mindset every time we got traps, or welcome the traps because that means someone's open, it would look so much different, even from Dame's perspective when he does get trapped. And I don't buy for a second that his height plays into that. I think obviously a taller person like Jokic, you talked about last game, being able to throw some of those passes even if he's double teamed versus a Dame, of course. But like we don't even have a way to attack. And when he does get the passes off, we've talked about this so many times. It's across the court to where the defense can recover before we even have a chance to take advantage of it. So if he had players in position and he had options and things designed for when he does get trapped, look for this in this area, and whoever catches the ball there attack quickly in this manner or whatever, it would look totally different. And we would absolutely abuse teams for trapping Dame that high or near half court in some situations. And instead we just let them dictate exactly what we're going to do on offense and how good of shots we get. And they're mostly contested because of that.
Yep. Agreed. Play-by-play, another $5 donut says, a lot of people blame everyone but Stotts. Last game it was Nurk. Today it's Dame. If we had a good coach, our record would be 10 to 15 games better, in my opinion. Yeah, basically, if there's ever a player, if we lose and there's a player that plays bad, it's their fault. That's how it goes. The only way it'll ever be, something else would be is if every one of our players plays well and we still lose. But then at that point, the narrative will be, oh, well, they just made shots or something of the sort.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. Do you want to watch the Stotts interview now, or what's up?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got something?
No, I was just in the middle of trying to read through three different arguments at once, and then my chat went away, and then I lost all of them. So
gotcha.
I was trying to catch up with chat, but I apologize tonight. I haven't been able to follow chat because I was keeping my chat on the donations so we didn't miss any, and then it keeps getting refreshed, and then I missed the whole conversations. But yeah. My bad.
Well, we're caught up now, so let's watch Terry Stotts' interview. He's wearing glasses in this one. I think it's to read the stat sheet, since when here's the thing, he got to read that stat sheet, man, because he's going to be asked questions about how the game went, and numerous times he says, "Well, I'd have to watch the film back." Maybe if he reads the stat sheet, he could have a better answer for things that happened in the game than, I don't know, I'd have to watch it back. So he's the initial clip is just him reading the stat sheet. Let's listen. It's only 4 minutes. Thank God, Eric. It's only 4 minutes. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Here we go. Another episode of Stotts' Tater Tots. We need a segment name for this, man. A good, clever segment name. If you have a good segment name for our Stotts' interview segments, say it in chat. And if there's a good one, we may adopt it. Here's your guys's.
I got it.
What do you got?
It's the fun game show. See how Stotts passes off responsibility for onto someone else tonight. That's a little long, but
a little bit long. I don't know. I don't know if I can make that roll off the tongue quite as well as I was hoping.
We need something better, but that's the tagline. See how Stotts passes off responsibility on someone else tonight.
Terry Jackson says Terry time. Mateo says Stott takes. I kind of like that one. Let's see.
The blame game.
The Stotts seat. Stotts watch. Stotts' daily excuses.
Last mile. That's good.
What else we got? Stammering Stotts.
That's good.
Stammering Stotts thoughts.
No idea, Terry.
Stotts didn't go in. Stotts shenanigans. Terry's trash. Terrible takes by Terry. I like that. That one rolls off the tongue. You guys got some clever ones. I wasn't expecting the names to be this good. All right, let's watch. Which one's your guys' favorite? Which one was your favorite in chat, Eric?
Oh, that's tough. I liked. A
lot of good ones.
Yeah. My chat is being so bad right now.
It's unfortunate.
What was Gray Hughes' one? I can't.
Stammering Stotts.
I like stammering Stotts. Stammering is perfect.
Terrible shots.
Terry. Play-by-play with the $3 dono. He says Stotts stupidness.
Stotts. Yeah, we're getting a little too blunt with that. So we'll come up with a different name every night from your guys' pool of names. Tonight it is Stammering Stotts. Welcome to a new episode of Stammering Stotts. Here we go.
That one, where do you think it broke? Thoughts after that one, where do you think it broke down in the fourth quarter?
Well, as far as the fourth quarter goes, we got a lead and they had 2 transition baskets after makes, and that can't happen. It's just they pushed the pace on us the entire game. Obviously we didn't shoot the ball well from 3 in the fourth quarter, but that wasn't the reason we lost. We really didn't take away their transition at all for most of the night, and that in the fourth quarter, I think made the difference.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that. The thing is, Terry, they're the number one I previewed this in the pregame, Terry.
Yeah.
We do Blazers Uprise Live if you're new to this channel, Mondays and Thursdays over on our second channel. Link is in the description below if you want to go subscribe so you don't miss it. We said yesterday, Thursday, we talked a little bit about this game, and I pointed out they are the number one team in terms of fast break points per game on the season in the entire league. And in the past 3 games, they had been scoring, I think, 8 additional fast break points per game than what they average when they were already number one. So this is a team that gets out and runs, and lately they've been running even more. And with Valanciunas off the floor, they're even more built to run, because he's like the one guy that would be in their lineup that you would think, oh, maybe he's like a slow it down big. But they started Xavier Tillman and Jaren Jackson Jr., 2 bigs that are just built to run. John Morant, great fast break player. They're built to run. So, that would be my question. So this was the number one fast team in the league in terms of fast break points. Headed into this game, it seems like you guys didn't really have a game plan for what you knew was coming. I don't know.
Yep, and this is the problem. Once again, we're talking about a team that we did not take out of their strength and comfort zone, and we just let them dictate the pace of the game and got easy transition baskets without maybe not going for as many offensive rebounds or something, and getting a guy back, maybe getting sending your guards back early when a shot goes up, something. I don't know. We have to find a way to limit those opportunities for them, and we didn't. And that's just, anything else is just an excuse, because you knew they were a good transition team. Like, you knew it, I knew it. Stotts should have known it. The whole coaching staff should have known it, and they should have had a plan to stop it if it became a problem.
Yep.
NBC Sports Northwest. Terry, what was the plan late with Dame at the foul line? It looked as if he was trying to make. Were you trying to make both there? Use your timeout later after a foul. Was that the plan?
I don't know. I don't know if Dame meant to miss or not.
Bruh! Eric, did you hear that?
How does he not know?
That's your call on whether he should make it or miss it.
Wait. Okay. Did he? What? There's what, 2.3 seconds left or something with the time, 2 something left.
Yeah.
The coach of the team shooting the free throw doesn't know whether our strategy was to miss it or make it. Did I hear that right? Like, am I confused in something?
Oh my goodness. That's up there with the Derrick Jones Jr. 29th ranked defense quote that he had. That is, bro. So you're, he's just along for the ride, man. He's just up front. He just has courtside seats. What do you expect? Yeah.
Okay. He just admitted he lets Dame. It's the Dame show. Dame's the coach. Dame's the star player. It's all on Dame. You can't even freaking take responsibility for the freaking missed free throw, whether that was designed or not. Like, He's so insecure about himself, he can't even say whether that was the right move or not. I guarantee you if it worked out, he would have been like, oh, yeah, we were supposed to miss out on purpose. But no, it didn't work out, so he's gonna blame, like, oh, I don't even know. But, like, how do you not know that? You're supposed to tell the guy whether to miss or not. You're the coach. You make that decision. If you're not going to even coach this team, get the crap out of off our team, man. This is ridiculous. There is no excuse for that. He should be fired immediately after making that statement. There was no, I'm sorry, I was going to give him till the end of the year. He needs to go right now. I'm done with him. I am done. He is terrible. This guy did not even know if we were supposed to miss or make a free throw. Are you kidding me? How do you not know that, Terry? How do you not know that? There is zero excuse you could give me to convince me otherwise that this guy should be our head coach. He needs to get the crap out of here. Fire him immediately.
Is your table okay?
I don't know. Get this guy out of my... I can't even listen anymore. This is ridiculous, dude. This guy just said he didn't even know. Like, what are you doing? Why are you even coaching?
Oh my goodness. I mean, he never fails to surprise. Or maybe he doesn't surprise at all. I mean, like, on one end, I'm baffled. On the other end, I'm just like, of course he doesn't know what the game plan is with 2.5 seconds left. It's his call. That is 100% his call. I mean, against the Celtics, Eric, when we were down 2, and they had one more free throw at the line, we didn't have any timeouts because Terry burnt one to tell Dame to shoot quick. What did Brad Stevens say to Marcus Smart? You could see it on TV. He was telling Marcus Smart to miss it because guess what? It's the coach's call. But yeah, Stotts. Wow. Somebody clip that and put it on Reddit. There's another Reddit clip for anybody out there on Reddit, just like the Derrick Jones Jr. 29th ranked defense. I mean, I share your sentiments exactly. It's
this guy can't even take responsibility for.
It's either.
How do you not even know? I don't get it.
It's either
you're just gonna let Dame decide whether he wanted to miss it or not. Like, don't you have to put rebounders in the game if you're gonna miss it on purpose?
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Eric is like, okay, well, the plan should be
I'm pretty sure he put Nurk in there, right? Because we didn't have Nurk in for the 3-point shot, so he subbed Nurk in. So what was that? Not you saying we should miss it on purpose, or we just
Eric? It's not a. Why wouldn't he sub in both Nurkic and Cantor?
I don't know, dude. Because he's stupid. He's a horrible coach. That's why. There's no other explanation. This guy has completely given up on this season. He needs to go. He's costing us a chance at doing anything. He's gonna mess up this team beyond repair. And I'm sick of it, man. I'm so done with this guy. Gosh, I'm not even like a scream. How often do I scream fire this guy? Like, it's very rare, except for when he gives stupid answers like this. Like, I'm not on Twitter every day, like hashtag fire Stotts, all that kind of crap. But this is absolutely ridiculous. I am going to absolutely tweet this out that he needs to be fired immediately. Because, like,
I wish I could share your anger, but I'm so resigned at this point that it's just comically bad for me. Like, he says this last year, I am raging like you. I am so resigned, Eric, to how bad this is. It's sad, but it's also kind of funny. It's funny how he doesn't know what the plan is there. Yeah, that's terrible. Wow, we're only a minute in. I didn't expect a zinger like that one. Nobody warned us for that. You know, they warned us with the Dame interview. They're like, yeah, Fentress's question at the end. You guys watch out for that one. You guys didn't even warn this. You guys need to give Eric a little bit of warning because he needed a little. Yeah, his blood pressure just spiked too much, too fast. Okay, you guys gotta give that man a little bit of warning. And his poor desk, man. I mean. Yeah. Eric, your table, your desk would do a better job than that. I mean, don't punish your desk.
It too far with this Stotts stupidness, and let's see what stupid answer Stotts gives tonight. Oh, there you go, guys. There it is. And there's still some time left for him to give another one and piss me off even more.
Man, wait, you could get more. I'm like scared to play the rest of this, man.
I wasn't as bad as I was last time. It just like
yeah. But I mean, it seems like you're in the mood to crush your desk, man. You're gonna flip it over. You're gonna flip the table over.
Good.
You know how much everybody would actually love to see that. Other than your family, of course.
All you would see is the camera. Like, going crazy, it'd probably break my computer.
No, you got the island there in your kitchen, right? If I'm remembering your house right.
Move it over.
Move it to let's see, a table flip. Try and make it like a bottle flip. See if you can. You're strong. See if you can flip it all the way over.
Go back and watch the very first podcast we did together, where we talk about me punching and putting a dent in my refrigerator. But I'm not gonna break anything over this Stotts situation. But yeah, this guy needs to go.
That rant was my favorite rant of yours.
Shout out to
just
real
because.
Quick,
yeah, go ahead.
Romp 2.0. I don't know if you watched that video, Tori. So this guy, Romp 2.0, he's oftentimes on the Valley podcast show after shows and stuff. He did a video on the Blazers because he had one of his followers really wanting him to do one.
Saw it, yeah.
And it was mostly about Stotts. And he clipped the part of me getting like super angry and foaming at the mouth. And it was out of context of the Stotts interview. It was just me like fuming, and it was so funny out of context. Like, it makes no sense why I'm so mad. But like it's just like right in the middle of his video.
I was going with it. Yeah, he just puts you in and you're just going off at the handle. I thought that too.
I had nothing but laughs for that one, even though it didn't make sense. But yeah,
yeah. Like, if you didn't hear the Stotts comment, you just played your rant there, like out of context in the middle of a bigger video. That would be. He should do another one. Version 2. Shout out Kyle Wilson, $2 dono. Stotts' first accurate statement. IDK, WTF, I'm doing. I really wish we cussed on YouTube because I would love to read it out how you intended that. Appreciate the $2 donation, Kyle.
At least I mean, he told everyone he just admitted for everyone that he's not even coaching the team. So now anyone who tries to tell you he's a good coach or that is actually still giving an F about this season, he just admitted right there that he doesn't. So
yep.
We missed one earlier though. $5 from my man Rich Finley.
Oh yeah.
He says learning the right lessons is so crucial. Worried the wrong lessons will be learned and we will blow it up. Versus a fresh take. P.S. Stotts my problem. I guess that's the new name for the show. But that's what I'm worried about too. Instead of we're not going to trade Dame or anything, but versus just getting a new coach and tweaking the personnel, making doing some upgrades. I'm worried that we're just going to take it to the extreme too far. But I'm hoping just to get in a coach and see what that can do, that actually knows what he's doing and actually has a plan when you're down 2 with 2 seconds left, whether to miss the free throw on purpose or to do that. That's a good start for a good interview question for whatever coach we have, what he would do in that situation, because our current coach does not have a plan, like everything.
Yep. Well, you ready for more, Eric?
Oh, sure.
All right, let's get it.
Tell him to miss it. I wanted to make it and hopefully foul right away.
Wait, Eric, we didn't even play the set. Wait, so he wanted Dame? Wait. All that ran, and we didn't even play the rest of the comment. Oh no! All right, let's just start from the top.
Out later after a foul. Was that the plan?
I don't know. I don't know if Dame meant to miss it or not. I did not tell him to miss it. I wanted to make it and hopefully foul right away, and we still had a timeout left.
Okay, so he wanted to make it, but he didn't tell Dame to make it, so he didn't know if Dame tried to make it or miss it.
That's the same thing. Don't let him try to fool you. He realized he was saying it. Dame should know whether he wants him to make it or not. He shouldn't not know whether he missed it on purpose or not. Dame shouldn't be missing it on purpose if the coach is thinking he's going to make it.
Yeah, if you're the coach and you're in a situation where it's like it's a choice whether to make or miss it, a situation like they're in with 2.5 seconds left, down 2, and it's like a debatable choice. You either tell them to make it Nothing could be hurt. If you tell them to miss it, sure, maybe, they're ready. But here's what you do. You either tell them to miss it and you sub in Nurkic and Cantor, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or you tell them to make it, okay? Tell him, we got a timeout left, make it. Get his attention, tell him to make it. The fact that he wanted Dame to make it, but didn't even communicate that is just absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Like, coach, you know what that's absurd. That's more absurd than I thought it was.
Like you said, you gave the perfect example against Boston. You saw Coach Stevens for Boston clearly give Marcus Smart direction, and on top of that, they even had a plan to double team Dame and make sure he couldn't dribble up the court once he got the ball as well. So not only were they prepared for the miss, but they were well coached on what to do in that situation too to stop the Dame from getting a good shot off. You have to be on the same page. You have to know what to do in that situation. You have to be screaming at him whether you want him to make it or miss it.
There's no fans in the stadium. You don't even have to scream at him. Just Dame. Yeah. He does his whistle, Maybe he lost that ability. Maybe that's hurting his production as a head coach because he can't whistle the same. I don't know. Maybe it's an aging thing. I don't know. But tell Dame to make it or tell Dame to miss it. If you want Dame to miss it, sub in Nurkic and Cantor. If you want Dame to make it, honestly, you should sub in Nurkic and Cantor anyway in case he accidentally misses it. So it made no sense not to have Cantor in the game because then you have a timeout after that. You can take Cantor out. So it made no sense not to do that. But
why would a coach put one of the best offensive rebounders, if not the best offensive rebounder in the entire league, in the game in that situation? Don't be stupid. Like, you don't want to get it off. You don't want to put your best offensive rebounder there. You just want like an average offensive rebounder. So it gives you a harder degree of difficulty of actually getting the rebound.
Yeah, but it's just like if a player is in his head, doesn't know what his coach wants in a situation like that, that's going to make it more likely that he misses in the way Dame did, which is like, if you miss it, you want to try and miss it in a way where you can get the offensive rebound. Yeah. The way Dame missed it, it was like not in a position to really get an offensive rebound. But Dame's like a 90% free throw shooter. I wonder if Dame's sitting there at the line like, I don't know what he wants, so I guess I'll try and make it, but maybe I should miss it. That's not the mindset you want. You either want to be like, okay, I'm missing the shot for sure, or okay, I'm making the shot for sure. You don't want your players second guessing, which is why you just be a damn head coach and communicate. I'm starting to hit my desk. Yeah. You ready to play the rest, or you got something else?
Real quick, did you get the $2 play-by-play? This is a comedy special. Did you say that?
No, I didn't. Shout out play-by-play.
Okay, so play-by-play, $2 dono. He says, this is a comedy special. Yeah, you're welcome for making you laugh, I guess.
He also said, quote, he had dropped another $2 dono, how not to coach with Terry Stotts. I don't know if we thanked that one. Just making sure we're getting them all the way. Thank you for the donos, play-by-play.
How not to coach with Terry Stotts.
How not to coach.
Yeah.
And then shout out, since we're on the topic, shout out Rich Finley for another $5 dono. Sorry, I accidentally called you Ryan. Now I feel bad. But he says his top suggestions for Terry post-game pressers. Third is Stotts my problem. Stotts our problem. Honestly. Number 2 is Believe It or Stotts. That's a good one. Believe It or Stotts, he said this.
Believe It or Stotts.
Yeah, we could have a theme song. You could sing it, Eric. We could get some. I don't know. You gonna do it? You're gonna do it now.
No, you don't want
We'll get you the auto tune. We'll get you the auto tune. His number one suggestion is Charles Barkley voice. That's terrible. I suck with impersonations. Do you want your? Do you want to give it a shot?
It was terrible, man. Terrible.
It's a hard impersonation to do, but you did much better than I would. Is it? Okay, well,
I'm horrible at impersonations too.
And I was trying to give you a little bit of leeway. Yeah. I was trying to be nice, a little nice on it.
Unlike our coach,
I couldn't do it either. I appreciate your honesty. His honesty. I mean, I don't know. It's like he'll give answers that aren't honest, and it's just like we know he's not being honest, and it's like ugh, eye roll. But then when he is honest, it's like, dude. What do you mean, really? Either way, it's just not good. We still got 3 minutes left, so.
Do you think this guy would actually try to spin this to blame Dame for missing it? Would you put that past him?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, what are you talking about, Reese and Jackson? What you guys trying to make me take the stream down? You guys try to ruin it for everybody. Don't joke around about that stuff. Anyway.
To advance the ball. So I don't know if I don't think that he intentionally missed it, but I didn't ask him.
Didn't look like it. It appeared not, but you're comfortable playing it that way rather than trying to miss it intentionally and get that rebound.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, it's a crapshoot. I think personally, if you make the free throw, they call timeout, they advance it, you foul right away. There's probably going to be 1 point something left on the clock, enough time to get a catch and shoot. So my preference in that situation would have been to foul, see what they do at the free throw line, and go from there. Since we had a timeout, if we didn't have a timeout, it would probably have been different.
Well, I would hope so, right? 2.5 seconds left, down 2 at the free throw line, no timeout. I would hope so.
So why was that not communicated to Dame then?
It just doesn't make any sense.
Why didn't Dame know that?
It just doesn't make any sense. Like,
yeah.
Nobody would be criticizing him if he's told Dame to make it or miss it.
Yeah.
Because, I understand you got 2.5 seconds left. Maybe they miss one at the line. You can set up an inbounds play, catch and shoot, whatever. Okay, so I understand why you'd maybe have him make it. I understand why you'd have him miss. So if he just communicated one or the other, there would be no complaints. There would be no complaints. But the fact that he didn't communicate either is absolutely ridiculous. So... here's Block Boy literally completely missing the context of everything once again.
Yes. Okay, so whether Dame missed it or not on purpose is not the point. The point is that Stotts did not communicate with him whether to miss it or not. Mm-hmm. And that's the point. If he would have said, make it, then Dame missed it or whatever. That's fine. Like Tori said, you can live with that if he just missed the free throw or whatever. But I don't know, he shot it different than he normally shoots a free throw. So I mean, even though it seemed like he was trying to make it, but also trying to miss it. Maybe I don't it didn't make sense. But I mean, you.
I just don't. Let's not even. Let's not even conversate with him. It's just ridiculous at this point. Let's watch the rest of this.
Jason Quick, The Athletic.
Coach, what stood out to you about Nurk tonight?
Well, it was his best game of the season. That's obvious. Probably the best thing was offensively, he finished around the basket. In one of his better finishing nights, what he ended up 11 for 15. So I think obviously it was a great game, but I think his finishing in the paint was the most obvious thing.
And what was your guys' idea on that inbounds? I mean, Norm got him a good look. It didn't look like that was the designed inbound, though.
No, I mean, you've been watching us for a while. We're looking to go high-low. They did a good job of taking away the entry pass. Norm made a good pass.
Eric, I wonder why. Maybe it's because we run it all the time. I mean, he even knows. He's the one he literally said, "You've been watching us a long time. You know what we're gonna run." Oh, dude.
We told you guys before we even watched this interview that was
I mean, I called the play they were going to run. Everybody knew what they were going to run. Memphis, I guarantee you, Memphis knew what they were going to run. Yeah. So no wonder they shut it down. And Terry even admits it. You've watched this a lot. We all knew what you were going to run, and you know it, and you still run it anyway. And oh, surprise, surprise, they shut it down. Huh. Maybe run something else and be a damn head coach. Just an idea. But, I mean that's Eric, what he's saying right now just sounds like a coach who knows he's gone.
Yeah. Okay, so we have him not knowing whether his player wanted to make or miss a free throw with 2 seconds left. And now we have him admitting that his one inbounds play is so apparent to everyone that even Jason Quick, who isn't really good with the X's and O's, should have known exactly what they were trying to do on. I don't know. I can't even make this stuff up. Like, we got a $10 donation from Jimmy Cleveland saying Stotts is a pretty good actor. He needs an Academy Award for imitating a coach. Yeah, like, how does he say this stuff with a straight face? Like, if he's acting, that's a great job. But like, I mean, I don't even get it, dude.
Dude,
what?
I saw a 4-minute interview and I expected this to be quick and painless. Okay, I was like, oh, maybe there's one thing he's bro. Oh my goodness. We still have a minute and a half left, Eric. It's gonna feel like an eternity. Wonder if he has another gem.
Everyone knows what play we're gonna run, Jason, idiot. Like, we're running high-low there, dumbass. Like,
yeah, but then they shut it down. I was surprised. I don't know why they shut it down. Like, it's a pretty good play, I thought. That's why I always run it.
It's not my fault they knew what we were running. Like,
oh my goodness! I appreciate the dono, Jimmy Cleveland.
I can't make the shot forward right there. We got a good look.
Yeah, man. I mean, like. Hey, you know what? They just made shots and they just played defense. So what do you expect me to do? Okay. Are you ready? I'm like,
sure.
Feel like I'm about to go underwater for a minute and a half.
All right.
That's what this feels like. I'm preparing myself. All right, here we go.
No, I mean, you've been watching us for a while. We're looking to go high-low. They did a good job of taking away the entry pass. Norm made a good pass to him, and he had a shot under the basket. So the play was to get the ball to Nurk in the paint in some way.
Yeah. Coming back to Dwight.
Well, at least you ran a play for him. Maybe, don't make it super predictable and maybe, I don't know, run a cross screen for him across the paint or something in a half-court offense instead of having CJ or Dame shoot contested jump shots. I mean, just an idea, but who am I to say that? I'm not an NBA coach. And neither should you be.
Terry, 74 points in the paint is the most you guys have given up all season. It looked like they were getting a lot of penetration, for one thing. What do you attribute that to? And, I mean, it seemed like Nurk was having a good game, but certainly the guys he was defending scored a lot of points, too.
Well, they scored in the paint in a variety of ways. Transition points are a lot of times in the paint. We had trouble with their.
Unless it's our transition offense. How many times do we have like a 2-on-1 and we shoot a 3? I mean, Melo did that tonight, Eric. There's another contradiction there. Yep.
Pick and roll, particularly at the end of the second quarter, their guards were getting into the paint either to score or to drop off to the big guys. So the pick and roll defense led to their points in the paint. They had some steals. I think Jackson got catches in the paint and finished around the paint as well.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll wrap it there.
Bro, even the reporters are so baffled. They can't even think of any other questions. Oh, my goodness. Well, shout out to you guys for voting that one. I see why you guys voted the Stotts interview. Oh, my. LaMelo's GOAT. The more you spam for us to do an interview, the less likely we are to do it. We've told you not to spam, and you keep spamming. You know not to spam. And we only watch one interview. I don't know. The thing is, if we watch the Dame interview, it'd be boring because nothing can top that, okay? Right. Nothing can top what Terry Stotts just gave us.
Just freaking tell us. Was he trying to miss on purpose or not? Just tell us what he says.
Yeah. If he talks about it, you guys can let us know what he says there. But yeah, so I mean, as far as points in the paint go, this is kind of like the last thing I want to talk about from this game. This was a terrible matchup for Enes Kanter. Terrible matchup for Enes Kanter. Because they run a lot in transition and they attack the paint relentlessly. Terrible matchup.
You mean that time in the first half when we had like Kanter guarding Clark and Melo guarding Jaren Jackson and Dame guarding John Morant? That wasn't a good defensive strategy there.
That's so bad. Oh my goodness, man. Like, honestly, Melo on Clark would be passable.
Yeah, but we had him on Jaren.
Bro, Bring in Harry Giles. He's a mobile big man. And have him guard Jaren Jackson Jr. It couldn't have been worse than
no
what...
Hollis Jefferson tonight.
Yeah, or go small. Because Jaren
Derrick
Jackson
Jones
Jr. is a
played barely.
perimeter big. They run a lot in transition. They attack the paint. Okay, that's terrible for Enes Kanter. Matchup-wise, they're bigs. Not good matchups for Enes Kanter. This is one of those games where it's just like, I wish Terry would... Like, he'll bench Derrick Jones Jr. randomly for no reason, you know? But when it comes to Kanter... automatically plays 18 minutes. And he was 6 for 11, had 12.7 rebounds. He was a -10. I don't think that's a coincidence. They gave up. They hemorrhaged points when Kanter was in the game.
At the same time, he caught a bunch of offensive... How many offensive rebounds did he end up with?
4.
Like 4? Yeah, 4. I mean, I think all those were putbacks, too.
Doesn't make up for it, though.
No, I know, but, like, I mean... Our offense looks better, too, because he's in there. So that might be one of the reasons why he's playing him is because he does clean up a lot of mess on that end. And then he can blame his personnel on the other end, right?
Yeah, I guess. It's just play Giles, play Hollis Jefferson, play Nas. Nas doesn't play tonight. I told you guys it was going to have to be one of Derrick Jones Jr., Anthony Simons, or Nasir Little that loses minutes. Guess what? It's Nasir Little.
And, so for those asking, Nas was not injured. Derrick Jones was a game-time decision, but he ended up playing. Not a lot, but, this was just a flat-out no coaches, did not play coach's decision tonight.
I also love how much we ran our players into the ground this game, Eric. Right now we're losing a ton of games, so we're not going to get the rest. We're going to have to play in the play-in, so there goes that rest that we would have had going into the playoffs. And on top of that, tonight we played CJ McCollum and Robert Covington 39 minutes. We played Dame and Norman Powell 37 minutes. Mm-hmm. Running them into the ground. They're going to be gassed once the playoffs roll in. And there's no excuse for it this year. We have guys off the bench. Play Robert Covington. Like, Robert Covington was 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. He had 5 assists. I thought he made some real nice passes, had 8 rebounds, did the little things, whatnot. I still think he had a positive impact on this game. But he was not crucial enough where you had to play him 39 minutes. Play him 33 and get Nas 6 minutes. Because Nas can play defense. Nas can hit an occasional shot. Nas can do some of the things that Robert Covington does. Okay? Play Nas 6 minutes. Maybe Nas hits a couple shots and maybe we win this game, Roko's obviously better than Nas, but, maybe Nas is fresh, comes in with some energy, changes the complexion of the game or something. I don't know. But I'll, at least in that case, Robert Covington isn't gassed at the end of the game. And then, hopefully he's not gassed for the playoffs because we're going to need him in the playoffs to play, to really kind of hold together our defense. So the fact that he's getting 39 minutes, when you got a guy like Derrick Jones Jr. only playing 13 minutes, Nas doesn't play at all, it's just absolutely ridiculous to me.
And I don't think it's a coincidence we gave up 130 points either. But then here's the deal. So we talked about this to me. There's 3 keys if we want to not completely fall apart this season and have somewhat of a tiny, minute chance of competing or making the playoffs or winning the play-in and making some noise once we get in the playoffs. We need, number 1, Dame out of his slump. We need him playing well, and we need to find a way to not get him taken out of games. Number 2, we need Nurk playing like Nurk tonight or as close to this as possible. Obviously, he's not going to have this monster of a game all the time, but somewhere between here are closer to this than closer to some of the games where he's not shown up in. And then 3rd, Nasir Little is really the only guy, now that we know Zach's pretty much done for the year, that has the potential to significantly be better than some of our options. All the rest of the players on the team, you pretty much know what their max ceiling is for this season and on this team, whereas Nas still has a high ceiling to where you could give him these minutes now and maybe you have another option on both ends of the court, because I feel like he's playing well on both ends of the court. come playoff time to take the pressure off of Dame because he can handle the ball a little bit. We've seen him bring the ball up and pass a little bit. We've seen him take to the rack strong. We've seen him shoot threes well at times this year. We've seen him defensively, create some havoc on that end. So this is a guy that I feel like instead of pushing away, like that's maybe one of your answers to saving the season, and we're just not going to give him a chance. So,
yep. Oh, I'm so done. I'm done. Anyway, that wraps up the coverage of this game. Unless there's something else you wanted to touch on.
No,
I'm kind of tired talking about this game.
I was tired, but then that got me amped up. But
yeah. Around the NBA, we'll go real quick. Hawks beat Heat 118-103. Bogdanovich has 21 points. They were missing Trae Young, but guess what? Despite the injuries and despite, Eric, the head coaching change mid-season, which I thought was guaranteed to tank your season if you did that, they still beat the Heat by 15 points. The Heat had Jimmy Butler. The Heat, I think they had Bam Adebayo as well. Yeah, they had Bam. They had Jimmy Butler. So they were healthy. But the Hawks, missing Trae Young, still beat them by 15, despite the head coaching change. Interesting. The Hawks are now 33-27. 6 games above 500. Eric, the Hawks are 6 games above 500. We're only 5. They have a better record than us. So do the New York Knicks. Crazy. The Heat fall to 31-29.
I forget if it was 17-9 or 19-7. I think it's 19-7 since McMillan. Yeah, thanks, Sherman. Yeah,
19-7. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Changed their season completely around.
Yep.
They did get.
They're below 500,
but yeah. It was a positive head coaching change. The Nets beat the Celtics 109-104. The Celtics made a push late but couldn't complete the rally. Joe Harris, Washington native, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Jason Tatum had 38 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists in the loss for the Celtics. Nets are 40-20. That's a visually pleasing record. The Celtics fall to 32-28. The Hornets beat the Cavs 108-102. The Hornets let me down last night in picks against the spread, but they took care of business tonight against the Cavs. Miles Bridges has been playing amazing basketball this season. He had 25 points, 10 rebounds in the win for the Hornets. In the loss, Darius Garland had 27 points, 6 assists. Hornets are 1 game below 500 at 29-30. Cavaliers are in the cellar. The Clippers struggled with the Rockets tonight. They needed to outscore the Rockets by 9 points in the fourth quarter just to win by 5. They win by a score of 109-104. Paul George has 33 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists. John Wall, 27 points, 13 assists. Clippers have been without Kawhi Leonard. The Wizards beat the Thunder. Westbrook against his old team has a triple-double, 37 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, and it actually translates to a win for once. The Wizards win by a score of 129-109. Your guy, I feel like his name changes every time I hear it, but Teo Maledon had 20 points, 8 assists. Eric, that was your guy. He's been pretty solid. I keep looking this way.
Been up and down, but yeah.
Yeah, I keep looking this way as if your camera is to my right when it's actually to my left.
Yeah. It's hard to know when.
Yeah, I gotta look that way. The Warriors beat the Nuggets 118-97. Steph has 32 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Michael Porter Jr. has 26 points. The Warriors blow out the Nuggets right after we lost to them. So, I mean, I don't know. The Warriors are a team that I think, they're playing better lately. Steph's been playing insane. They're at 500 right now, 30-30. They got a chance to pass us. They are only 2.5 games behind us. So now let's look at the standings. We are a half game behind Dallas for 6th. We are 3 games behind the Lakers for 5th. 6 games behind the Nuggets for 4th. You know how we were just constantly tied with the Nuggets, Eric?
Yeah.
And, there was just no separation for like a whole month.
Mm-hmm. They got a terrible start.
Mm-hmm. We're already 6 games behind them. We have no chance at home court advantage. We... right now we're in a play-in spot. I think, according to playoffstatus.com, we have, after losing tonight's game, we have an 84% chance of being in the play-in, only a 16% chance of being a top 6 seed. Those odds based on remaining strength of schedule and teams' records so far this season. We are, as I said, half a game behind Dallas for 6th. Only a game and a half ahead. Memphis for 8th. Of course, we play them again next game. And then only 2.5 games behind the Warriors and the Spurs, who are both tied for 9th and 10th.
Yeah. And I mentioned this when we were going through the schedule. I think we match up well with the Nuggets. I think that's a team that everyone should be wanting to play outside of us in the playoffs. And I think that loss of Murray is just huge. And I think Barton went down tonight too, but I'm not sure how severe it was. It didn't look good though. It's disappointing that we lost that game, especially, and then we come out and lose another one against Memphis. We saw what a team like the Warriors, and this is for all the people that blame or like were hard on Kerr and stuff all year. This is the difference between maybe not having the best record, but doing things the right way throughout the season. And I don't know if the Warriors, they don't have enough talent, I would think, to with Clay going down to make like a deep run in the playoffs. But I mean, that's a team that's 7th in the league in defense right now, and they've been around 10 most of the season, despite not having the greatest talent on that team this year. So that's a team that's absolutely well coached in my mind, and they do a lot of things to prepare themselves to win, even if that doesn't come across. At least they're playing the right way and trying to get stuff done. Whereas we're just content with doing whatever it is we do and not even knowing what that is or being predictable. As Coach Stotts gracefully pointed out to us tonight, that his inbound play is one of the most predictable things ever. And so that's our strategy versus teams that are actually, preparing their team to have these tough battles later in the season.
Yep. So upcoming schedule, we still have 4 games in April, despite it being the 23rd. We play again on the 25th against Memphis, the 27th against Indiana, the 28th against Memphis, and the 30th against Brooklyn. So we will have another post-game show for you guys Sunday. That's an early game, tipping off at 1. Yay, can't wait. I hate watching basketball in the middle of the day. I would rather have it in the evening. Actually, on a Sunday, that works out for me. I can go and drive for DoorDash for the Sunday dinner rush, because that's when the post-game shows should be done. You're going to get your vaccine, so I got mine on Tuesday. So we're getting vaccinated. Let's go. We'll have you guys covered with that post-game show starting at 3:30 in the middle of the day. Hopefully we can catch you for that one. We'll see how that one goes. Can't wait. And then we go on an East Coast road trip, basically, on the 27th, which is going to be Tuesday. We have a 4 p.m. tip-off time. And then the 28th, the next night, we play Memphis again in Memphis. This time that game starts at 6 p.m. And then we go play in Brooklyn on the 30th. That's not an easy game. That'll be a 5 p.m. tip-off time. A little bit late for a game completely on the East Coast. Normally those are always at 4. So that's the rest of April.
Looks pretty easy, huh?
Looks very easy, man. This team will definitely win those games.
Reese had this earlier. Blazers still have the 6th hardest schedule in the NBA. I think our only gimme game should be the Cavs, but who knows with how we're playing. And just for reference, the Mavericks have the 26th easiest or hardest schedule, so 5th easiest. And the Grizzlies, who we played tonight, have the 3rd easiest schedule the rest of the way.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to be in a play-in game, guys. We're going to be in a play-in game. I'm like all but guaranteeing it at this point. We're going to be in a play-in game. So we'll have you covered with a play-in post-game show, just like last season.
So frustrating. Even knowing that this was going to happen, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And I didn't think we would fall below 6th when we stayed afloat without CJ and Nurk. I don't even know how that's possible. How is it possible that we're talking about playing game and it's
what
like
do you mean,
almost
how
scared?
Is it possible? Terry Stotts is our coach. Did you forget?
It's all but guaranteed now that we're going to be in the playing game. It's just,
It's funny, isn't it?
I'm disgusted.
Oh man, it's comically bad. It's comically bad. It's definitely comical for me though. I'm laughing. I don't know why it's so funny. It's just funny to me, Eric. Just all the narratives all season long, and us knowing that the issues are different than what people are saying to us, and then just seeing it play out even more drastically than even I expected is just funny. You know, I wanted these issues to get fixed, but all the issues we're talking about, we're seeing it play out so drastically, and those people are just so at a loss right now. That is, I don't know. There's some humor in it. You know what I mean? So I'd rather laugh at it than be upset about it. You know, I mean, we don't go on a playoff run. We get a better coach, hopefully, and then we do go on a playoff run next year. Guess what? With a brand new coach Eric, imagine this channel. We're known as the Fire Stotts guys, right? Mm-hmm. If we hire a new coach, what are we going to be known as?
Well, here's the deal, Tori. When you break things down, with what you see on the game, so we'll just tell it how it is. So if the coach is doing good, we'll say that. If the coach is doing bad, we'll continue to say this isn't working. But obviously, a new coach would get a bit of a curve to implement his stuff and do things. So we won't be harsh on him the way we are harsh on Stotts after 9 years. But according to Pro Stotts Twitter, who's now faking being anti-Stotts Twitter just to say they're right when he does get fired. Don't let any of those guys fool you, by the way. We're gonna turn on Dame now.
Oh yeah, Brandon Goldner said that. Good old Brandon Goldner, man. Notice how he hasn't been in here since then. Yeah, that dude switched up back to what he wanted to switch up to.
Yeah, he guaranteed us on this show, all but bet us, promised. However you want to call it, that after the next 6 games, which has now been 8 games, and we're 2-6 in those games, that he would absolutely be on the Fire Stotts train. And now he's trying to claim that he's been on there for a while, and he's telling people that he's not biased because he's now saying to Fire Stotts or whatever. But yeah, it's just guys like that. And I'm serious. Trevin's probably the best at this, but I really want someone to go through and save all the tweets from all these people like Dan Meringue and Brandon Goldner from earlier in the season. And then 2 years from now, when they try to claim that coaching was the problem, I'd love to just throw all their old stuff out there. But I mean, it'll be fun to talk about our team playing great basketball and why we like what they're doing versus.
Yeah, well, we'd be able to break down new wrinkles and stuff. Oh, we saw this tonight. We never used to see that. And, we'd be able to break down, it would be completely fresh. And, I would be excited to, break down what's happening on the court. Whereas, with the Stottslet team, there isn't much happening on the court in terms of X's and O's. And I've said the same stuff over and over again. So, in terms of us covering the team, it would almost feel like we're streaming for the first time. Mm-hmm. That would be dope. That would be fun.
And I just want to make this for the record right now. I got called Stephen A. Smith by someone the other day.
Well, I got called Skip Bayless, so I guess,
and let me just say one thing. Tori and I are not acting. We are not. Act this well. We are not having discussions beforehand. Oh, let's get mad and be super negative and get likes and views because people that's what people want. Let's do clickbaity stuff and yell and put it on Reddit, and then everyone will be like, look at these clowns. But people will watch the clip and it'll get us attention or whatever.
Did somebody really make that point to you? That did somebody try and claim that that's what we do, or is that what he meant by the Stephen A. Smith thing?
They said they meant it as someone who's negative or just talks in a certain way but is very successful at it. But there's no way for it to come across at any. Yeah.
So Eric, we're successful in part because me and you know how to talk like media guys. That's a wait. Let me wait.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people consider those guys media guys.
Bro, that's a compliment though, because I thought we got big just based off our basketball knowledge. If we talk really well on top of that, as fans that we're hired by a media company and we're like trained in this type of stuff, that's a compliment. I'll take that as a compliment.
That was the point this person was trying to make. So like that's absolutely what he was trying to say. So yeah, he was trying to give a compliment, but he also
backhanded compliment
in this whole thing was like, you have all this Blazer media who is very non-critical, very doesn't like to get into X's and O's and do all this kind of stuff, and it's very positive. There's hardly any negative stuff. So he kind of made it seem like we were going that route so we could have our own niche in the media industry or whatever. And that's never been our idea. Like, we just so Tori and I just come on here, we watch the games, we tell you how we feel watching the games. We're fans just like you guys. We're just going off what we see and how we watch the games, how we analyze the games, what we see is going on, how we think it's being affected by the coaching or the players or whatever. And there's never any premeditated. Occasionally Tori will be like, let's chill on like just going all negative tonight. Let's like try to like say a few nice things or something, so it's not just constantly negative. But like,
even that's really rare though. I really say that.
Like, we're not just like doing this to be negative. We don't want to be negative. We're not setting out to be the negative guys. And if it gets better, like if we win the championship, we're not going to complain about it. Like,
you know what's funny about all that though is we took so much backlash at the start of last season because of how negative we were when we weren't getting many viewers. Okay, and I always thought, like, man, if we were just more positive and split it more down the middle and, kind of like lied and, made up positive excuses even though we didn't know they were true and kind of played to those guys, during last season, I felt like we would have had a bigger channel if we did that. Mm-hmm. But I would never do that. I want to call it like it is. So all last season, I felt like sacrificing a little bit of like viewership for the greater good. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, man, if we were just more positive, we might have, 3,000 subscribers by now instead of 2,000, But I didn't want to sell out for subscribers. So that's funny that somebody's trying to make that point that we're negative on purpose to try and get our channel bigger, because all last season, I felt like we were sacrificing channel growth because we were negative, because we wanted to tell it like it was.
And honestly, I mean, especially for you, I mean, if you wanted to, or you just cared about viewers, you would not be as negative about Melo. So like that's obviously a sign that you're just telling the truth and not worried about that kind of stuff. Because honestly, there's a huge Melo fan base that we could tap into if we were more just, trying to get as many views as possible. So
yeah, now I don't feel that way because we've gotten big enough, and I feel like a lot of people a lot of people have actually given us the chance of listening to us, which I felt like we didn't get that chance before when we were smaller from some people. So now I don't, this season I haven't felt that way, but last season I felt that way. So it's funny that somebody tried to make that point, but like, we honestly just try and call it how it is. I mean, getting viewers is nice, it's cool. Obviously we want to grow the platform, but we want to grow it based on a core set of values, which is breaking down the game more in depth, calling it like it is, and being truthful, and building up the community. I do this for the community. The community around this channel is absolutely phenomenal. Out of any community, for any media platform that covers the Blazers, I think this is by far the best one. So everybody that participates in chat and like the people that I've met in Discord and all that, the people that I talk with regularly on Twitter. I mean, you just go on our Twitter page and just some of the Twitter conversations and the Twitter group chat. I know like some of you guys are only a part of some of that, or maybe you don't even post on social media and only post in chat or whatnot, or maybe don't even say anything to us at all, just watch. Like, you guys help make up that community. The community, I think, is real dope. So that's like... that, and I want to give you guys the coverage that I wanted after that Pelican series when I was seeing these issues and nobody was talking about it, and everywhere I went was people just trashing Al-Farouq Aminu when he shot 43% from 3 during that series. But there was no coverage that was any better than that. So me and Eric, because Eric felt the same way, we set out to create that platform, that tells it like it is instead of sugarcoating everything, instead of, defending the coach no matter what, instead of, surface level stuff that gets thrown out there. We tried to go out and create a platform that we would want to listen to. So it's dope to sit here right now talking to 180 people 2 hours into a stream.
Yeah.
Because it means we've been pretty successful with doing what we set out to do.
Yep. And I mean, hopefully it's bigger, but Bryce thinks we should go to bed.
Yeah, we're 2 hours and 8 minutes. I ended this on a more positive note, guys. I felt like, I haven't really talked about how much I appreciate you guys in a while, so I figured we should probably do that.
And let me just address something we missed. Some shots said. He said, "I'm not as polished a speaker as Stephen A. Smith. I just sound like an intense Blazer fan." Dude, I never said I was Stephen A. Smith. I'm saying that someone told me I was.
Somebody told him it was.
And for all the haters who always say, like, you guys will never make it, or you can't act this way and be made, I don't give a crap, dude. I do this for fun. I do it for free. Like, I'm just here talking Blazers. If you guys want to watch, that's great. I've never tried to say I'm good at it or I should replace, like, we should be the Blazers outsiders or whatever. Like, if you guys want to say that about us, great. Like, I appreciate that, and I will be thankful that you gave us such a nice compliment. But, like, I'm not trying to replace anyone or do anything. I'm just sitting here with Tori talking basketball after every game and having fun doing it, and I don't give a crap if you think I'm good or not. Like, I don't watch or like whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm just gonna talk basketball with you guys, and yeah, that's it. I mean, I hope you guys like it, but if not, like, I'm not, like, you're not paying for me to talk, so, like, you shouldn't be complaining about it. Just turn the channel.
Stephen A. Smith is better than being called Skip Bayless, though, because I got the Skip Bayless one.
Yeah.
Which is even worse. I'd rather Stephen A. Smith is actually entertaining. Skip Bayless, I can't listen to that guy. So, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. I think it was based off something in chat. Oh yeah. Sot Vic asked, "How do you guys start this channel?" Started watching after Roco trade stream, so sort of new viewer. I did YouTube on my own. Was very bad at it. Talk about random NBA stuff. We get 20 views a video for a whole year. Okay. Then I pivoted that off into a year-long collaboration effort with True Blazer Fan, who does highlights. And I provided analysis and some, like, film breakdown because the channel did highlights and whatnot. So actually utilized footage in those videos, which now we avoid that because obviously it's copyrighted and that type of stuff. So I did a year-long partnership with True Blazer Fan doing analysis, and then I wanted to do my own channel because I didn't do streaming back then. I wanted to start streaming and still doing videos on top of that. During the off-season, we'll get more videos out and whatnot. We haven't gotten much out in a while. Obviously, the games have been super jam-packed, and, everybody has a lot going on in life. So, and especially right now, especially with me, I got a lot going on and whatnot. So, wish I could put out videos a little bit more regularly. It's just I want to put out something that I'm not, like, happy with. So if I'm, like, just feel stretched thin, I avoid it. But once we get into the off season, I'll do more videos and whatnot. But obviously we got all the streams we do. I basically started my own channel. There's some people that watched True Blazer Fan when I was there, and then they, kind of migrated over to this channel, so I had a little bit of a head start, and then we just grew this. We started with the 2019 draft stream when we drafted Nasir Little, and then we did that free agency stream, and I remember trying to figure out how to stream, and I was streaming on a laptop that could barely handle it, and yeah, there was a lot of growing pains, and now it's pretty smooth, pretty seamless. Barely get lag anymore, knock on wood, but now we barely get lag. It's grown into what it is now.
Yep. It's been a fun ride, and hopefully it seems like every big stream we have, we grow a little more. So like hopefully, like draft and free agency and trades that happen this offseason will also help the channel get bigger.
I think this offseason will be the most entertaining offseason maybe in the history of this channel. We'll get some pickup runs going. We'll run our mock offseason. We'll have the free agency draft stream. If Stotts gets fired, we'll have stuff around that. Who knows if there's a summer league? I'm assuming probably not, but I mean maybe.
The Fire Stotts stream.
Yeah, this will be an entertaining offseason. So honestly, part of me is looking forward to some of the stuff we're going to be doing in the offseason. So we'll ride out the rest of the season, see what happens. This team obviously is not in a good place, but looking ahead, it's not bleak long term, I don't think. Given what I'm expecting to happen this offseason. But anyway, that's gonna wrap up the stream. Is there anything else you wanna add before we
thank everyone for watching, and
yeah,
another great Terry Stotts interview.
that was something else. That rant, man, we need to clip that. Can somebody clip that rant and send it, just that whole rant, and send it to me? That would be appreciated.
Josh Erickson is spamming us to talk about the Jazz. They're
really good. Best team in the
good,
West. We don't really have. Please don't spam.
Yeah,
I was just going to ignore it because he's spamming it. And we don't got time to talk about the Jazz. We're 2 hours, 15 minutes in. We're running a little long. The Jazz are the best team in the West record-wise right now. They're first place. There you go. But, yeah, so we'll catch you guys Sunday. As I said, afternoon stream. Monday, Blazers Uprise Live. That channel link is in the description below, the top of the description. And then Tuesday we'll have another post-game stream. The games are super jam-packed right now leading up until the end of the season. So we're just along for the ride at this point with a ton of streaming, and I'm glad all of you are enjoying it and appreciating it and are in here and chat with us. Leave a like on these streams. It really does help us out. It helps the stream get recommended more and helps us grow a little bit. So likes mean a lot to us. It means you like what we're doing, and that is what we strive for. I will catch the rest of you on Twitter over the next day or so, or I will catch you maybe on that stream on Sunday or some other time in the future. Until whenever I catch you next, I hope your life is good. I hope everything's going well with you personally. And with that, that's a wrap. Eric, you have a good rest of your night. Chat, you have a good rest of your night. I'll catch you guys later. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.